Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is a woodworking channel, but today I just had the urge to have to come on here and just to speak out. I'm sure everyone knows about the Charlie Kirk assassination, and we all have our thoughts and opinions on things, but I'm not here for what happened, how it happened. What I'm here for is why, and if you're a Democrat, take this with a grain of salt, but why can't everyone on both sides and even in the middle agree that what happened to Charlie was a devastation? I mean, he left behind a wife and two kids, one at which will never know his father other than seeing him on videotape. That's the only way he's going to know his father. And the other one's memories are going to fade because she's just turned 3. She turned 3 the day before he was assassinated. So a lot of her memories are going to fade, and she's going to have to get to know her father through video as well. And here we are arguing and complaining about how our lives is and how the left or the right perceives the way Charlie was. Charlie did debate. Charlie loved to debate. He never said a racial thing about anyone. What he did, he spoke what the Christian belief was for families, and that is one man, one woman, and you multiply. That was pretty much his whole speech. I hear that he was talking bad about different things, in different situations, and he could come around as argumentative, but he wasn't argumentative. He was just putting forth his opinions on the way we should proceed our life. And when I go and I've watched a lot of his videos, and I didn't watch him that much when I was alive. I've seen clips and stuff here and there of his, and I would listen to it, and but I never really sat down and really watched a lot of his videos until he was assassinated. He, to be only 31 years old, soon to be 32, this month he would have turned 32 years old. And he put his life out there for the ability to try to draw more people in, not just to pull people in to be a Republican, but to let them know how they were living their life, whether it was good or whether it was bad, or in between, or whatever. I mean, I sat and watched him do a debate with someone that was going through the transitioning part, and was asking that person questions that the only way they could answer it was by telling them the truth about who they were on the inside. They were actually a man, but and was explaining to them how could they do this and how could they do that, how could they have certain things that a woman can have or does have that God made woman to have, and the only way that person could do that was to take medicine, take hormone pills, take all this other stuff that is natural for a woman. And he was just proving his point that you cannot be a female. No matter how much you want to be, you can't be one. Now, I'm not into all of that. If you want to be what you want to be, that's plainly and totally up to you. I don't want to get political. I don't want to get religious to anybody, because Lord knows I'm not, smart enough into the Bible to know all the God's words. I will say I am a Christian. This is the first time I've put my face on my channel. Only thing y'all have seen is my hands and probably my feet and toes where I'm working and stuff. But I just felt the urge after watching that thing yesterday of his memorial service, and seeing his wife break down in tears, and talk to, thousands and thousands of people, in the stadium, and then, thousands or even millions, watching it live, on TV or on internet, whatever, however, how they watched it. I got to thinking, I don't have that courage. She stood up there, and you could see. I mean, if you watched it, if any of y'all watched it, I'm glad you did. And if any of you didn't watch it, I would like for you to go back and watch it. But you could see when she started talking about the one who unalived her husband. You could see the hurt, and you could see the anger in her face. But you know what she did? She forgave him. When Jesus was on the cross, he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they have done." And she forgave that man on live TV. I couldn't have done that. If someone had done that to one of my family members, I couldn't have done that. I don't believe I have the strength in me at the moment to do that. It's only been a couple weeks, and for me, it would probably took a couple years to do that forgiveness. And that's what makes us all different. Some of us could do it in a snap of the finger. Some of us can do it 10 years later. We are human beings. We all have our own thoughts. We all have our own opinions. We all have our own emotions. No one's exactly the same. God made us different. Even though we were made in His image, we are still all made differently. We are all taught different. We are all, on a different playing field. None of us are the exact same. And if I lose subscribers from here, I don't have but 48 subscribers anyway to my channel. So if I lose, I don't care. I like to have more, but I'm not here for followers. I'm just here to do woodworking stuff when I can, and when I'm able to get out to do it and film it. I'm not a tech savvy guy, so a lot of my stuff looks just raw and stupid, but I'm not tech savvy. But I just wanted to say, it don't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you are a Democrat, I will plead to you and ask you if you feel the same way I do, that I'm not saying we should walk around with our heads down and mourn this man for the rest of our lives. What I'm saying is we should have compassion to the family and to his close loved ones and friends that they lost someone that they loved and admired. That's what we should have. We should have compassion. And I urge you, if you are a Democrat, to urge your people, the Democrat side, like the Omar, what's her name? Something Rocket, whatever her name is, from Texas. And anyone else that's on that side that can't say, hey, look, this was wrong, what happened to him. We should not do that. Every life should be precious, no matter who we like, who we dislike, who we love. Every life is valuable. In 34 years, 31 years, 14 years of that, Charlie spoke what he believed and read in the Bible that was true. I believe what the Bible says is true because I'm a Christian. If you believe in God, then wonderful. If you don't believe in God, check Him out. I mean, hey, what can you lose? But I do believe Jesus died for my sins. I do believe He died so I could go to heaven. I do believe in repenting. I do believe in trying to do the best you can do. Do I? No. I don't always do the best I can do because I am human. I try and then I fall short. And we all fall short of the glory of God. We all do. But for some reason we can't get that in our head that we all fall short. We want to beat ourselves down, and I beat myself down a lot. I deal with depression. I deal with disability problems. I deal with a lot of stuff. And I'm trying not to get choked up here because I can't believe how bad our country has gotten that we cannot have sympathy for someone that has lost someone. You can have sympathy the Democrats can have sympathy for an illegal to be sent off and took out of our country after being proven that he's done certain things and was supposed to have already been deported or whatever the situation may be. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. But I'm saying is the Democrats can have sympathy for that person that beat his wife and she had kids with him and she didn't admit that he beat her. But they can't have sympathy for someone that sat and watched their own family member, their loved one, get unalived right in front of them. How can you not have sympathy for that? If you can't, you have no soul. It's just plain and simple. You have no soul if you can't have sympathy. So I urge you, those that are on the Democrat side, I still love you. I'm I don't want to lose you as a subscriber, but if this makes you become or unsubscribe from me, that's fine. I don't care, because this is what's been on my heart since yesterday to come out and say, and I've just now, I guess, got the courage to do it. But I want to ask and for y'all to go out and just talk to your congressmen and women. If you're on a Democrat side, hey, why can't we have sympathy? Why does everything have to be about hate? I'm surprised, in all honesty, I am surprised that we have yet heard or haven't heard Crockett, because she's one of the world's worst, say that it was a big Klan meeting, at the stadium yesterday. I'm very surprised that they haven't said that yet. They said that about Trump when he was at the New York and doing his rally there before he became president. That it was a big Klan meeting. Because that's where the Klans met back 100 years ago, whatever it was. I don't know, but we need to come together for certain things. We can always argue and we're going to always argue and not agree on everything. I don't agree with everything the Republican says. I don't agree with everything what Donald Trump says. I did vote for the man. And some of the things that he has done, I have voted for. Could it have been done a little different way? Yes, more than likely, possibly. Things could have been done a little bit better, could have been handled a little bit better. But I look at it that the reason he's moving so fast in his first year is because he has the House and the Senate. And he knows right now that it's easier to get things passed right now because they impeached him 3 times because the Democrat was running the House and the Senate the whole time he was in office. So he's trying to rush it through and trying to get more stuff done in his first year of term, because he may lose the House or the Senate or something. He wants to make sure that he can get as much done and as much passed as possible before the midterms come up, and he may lose a seat or 2 or 3 or whatever. Hopefully he'll gain more seats, but I figure after this year things are going to slow down, because he's not going to have the ability to do what he wants to do. And the first time the Democrats get 1 seat ahead, you can better believe they're going to want to impeach him. You can better believe it. But as I'm saying this, don't let your side of the party depict on how you feel about someone who has lost someone. Sorry for my flubbing my words, but I just feel some kind of way. And I'll leave you with this. I had a pastor one time tell me, well, not just me, but tell a congregation, you have on your headstone when you pass away, if you have a headstone when you pass, on your headstone it's going to say the date you were born. It's going to say the date when you died. What's going to be the remarkable part is that little bitty dash between the day you was born and the day you died. What did you do between the day you was born and the day you died? What did you do with your dash? What are people going to know about your dash? Did you waste the moments that you had? Did you waste the moments that you could have said, hey, are you a Christian? Do you believe in God? What do you believe in? I'm not a pastor, like I said. I know enough of the Bible to be dangerous probably, but I do know that there's truth in that Bible. And I'm trying to get back in it myself. I'm trying to work my way around certain things, and I may I may fall flat on my face, but I just pray that God will be there to help me back up. But just remember that. What are people going to know about you between the day you were born and the day you passed away? What is your dash going to say about you in the upcoming years and months and days and whatever it may be? Did you do what God had asked you to do? Did you do what you felt was right? Did you do, what kind of things did you do wrong? What kind of things did you do right? Did you try to correct those wrongs? I think a lot of times we overlook our wrongs and praise our rights when we need to start looking back at our wrongs and fixing them. Because when you fix your wrongs, your rights are going to shine even more. So have the faith to talk to someone. My dad passed away 15 years ago now, I believe it's been. And when he got back into church, that I'd seen a change in that man that I'd never seen before. And my dad died when I was young. I mean, I was in my 40s when he passed away. To me, that was young. But I knew him for that many years, and I seen 20 years of that life span of his was just running wild, doing what he wanted to do, that kind of thing. He started getting back in church, started reading the Bible. Every time, he was a painter. Every time he'd walk into the paint shop or the store, he would talk to them guys about God, talk to them about Jesus. A person on the street, my dad was the type of person, he could walk up to anybody on the street and start talking, start a conversation. I can't do that. I'm too shy. But he would walk up to them and start a conversation, and that somehow or another that conversation would go straight to, do you go to church? Where do you go to church at? Oh, you don't go to church. Well, would you like to come to my church? Come and listen to my preacher. Come hear the word of God. Are you saved? I mean, he would come out, and he wouldn't make it sound like he was trying to push anybody. It was how he approached them. And I would have to say the last 20 or so years of my dad's life, his dash was full of things that I wish mine was, to be honest. So just remember, what is it? Is your dash going to be this long, or is your dash going to be this long? What is your dash going to say about you when you pass away? That's what I'm going to try to start working on. And I'm not the smartest person in the world. I didn't graduate out of high school. All I've got is street smarts and bare knuckle, scabs on my hands, cuts on my hands, hard work. That's why I'm disabled now. But I want to start building my dash longer. I want to build my dash to where it shows, hey, this is what this man did the last few years of his life. I may be here, 2 more months. I may be here 200 more years. I hope not, but I may be here another 200 years. Be here as long as God wants me to be here. And I want my dash to grow to proving that what I did was for him and not for me. I want my woodworking channel to grow. I really do. I can't get out there and do the stuff that I want to do because I'm down for a couple of days when I do things out in the shop. And it just puts me behind, and it puts me down. And that's why my channel hasn't grown. I'm not charismatic. I don't get up there and crack little jokes and dance around for people like I don't do that kind of stuff. That's not me. You know, I'm not that type of person. I'm just a straightforward, let's get it done. I'm finished. Thank you for watching. You know, that's me. I'm not charismatic, however you pronounce that word. I'm not that type of person. I'm just always been straightforward. My dad's always said, you look a man in the eye, you tell him what you think. If you don't like it, then that's on him. You know, not on you. At least you told him what you think and what you felt. You never hold it back, and you never bite your tongue. And, you know, my dad was a big inspiration in my life. But I want everyone to know that that woman stood up there. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. That woman stood up there and said, I forgive him. How many of us could do that? Really, truly, deep down inside, in your soul, in your heart of hearts, how many of us could get up there in front of that many people? I don't care if it's just between you and God. How can you sit there and say, I forgive that person for unaliving my family member? I couldn't do it. I mean, like I said, later on down, months later or something, I probably could. Once that anger and the hate started working out of me, you know, if it worked out of me, it could build up and make it worse, where you would never forgive that person. You know, but she stood up there, and you could see when she said that. If you watch the expression on her face, because I watched that expression on her face before she said it and after she said it, and before she said it, you could see the anger and the frustration that she had for what happened to her husband. And when she said it, you could actually just see it just go away. Charlie Kirk was no king. He was no God. He was no Jesus Christ. But I do believe he was a modern day prophet. Oh, not a prophet. I won't say prophet. I believe he was a modern day saint, if you will, I guess. But he didn't only spread the gospel, he spread, you know, the truth as well. Like I said, if you haven't ever watched any of his videos, don't watch bits and pieces. You might see a TikTok of him here and there or something of what he said. Watch one whole video of his and see. It might be an hour long, but watch that whole video so you get the full aspect of what he done when he would sit up there and talk. I urge y'all to, my dog is trying to bark, I'm going to have to get off here. I urge y'all to go and watch him, but always remember, what is everybody going to say about you and your dash? What did you do in that dash? The time you was born to the time you passed away, what does your dash say about you? Thanks for watching. I hope this somewhat encouraging, and if anyone else sees this that's you know, that likes woodworking and stuff, please like, share, subscribe. I don't want my channel to turn into a Christian channel, but if that's the way the Lord leads me, then that's the way the Lord leads me. I'm going to try to do my best to do what I can. But thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. You know, speak out, man. It's time for Christians to rise up. I mean, we all see what kind of chaos is in this world. I mean, it's gotten bad. You know, our country, I never would have thought our country would have turned out the way it's turned out in the last, I'll just say 8 years, really. But thank you again for watching this. I hope I touched somebody. I hope I changed somebody. I hope I started to change in somebody. I mean, whatever comments you got, we'll discuss it. Leave them down in the comments. I'm not scared to, like I said before, I'm not scared of someone backmouthing me. I'm not scared of anything. If you, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to suggest, please do. But I do have to say, you know, I'm saved by the grace of God. I am a Christian. I am a believer. And we should all be able to go out in public and say that, you know. And I know people are scared to. And I've not really been scared to. It just, I've never been in a situation where I had to bring it up a lot. But as I said, thank you guys for watching. And I will say, I love you guys. We should love everyone. Each and every one we should love. That's what God told us to do. I love y'all. Hope y'all have a great day. Hope you had a great weekend. And hopefully my next video will be some type of woodworking project that I can get videoed. So thank you for watching.